What's up, everybody? In today's episode, it's just me and Babe, and we talk all about where BXP has been, where we are now, and where we're going. And you kind of get a peek behind the curtains as to what makes us tick, what we do behind the scenes, and our big challenges running the stream and the YouTube and podcast and everything, and time management, and all kinds of things that we feel are real important for you guys to hear from us. So I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to the BxPerience. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking, just us two, about some things we're looking forward to with stream, where we're looking to go, where we've kind of been and what we've done. So let's kind of look back on what we've done in the past while on Mixer. Let's since we got partnered, maybe we've seen a good amount of growth. We've been a lot more consistent streaming.
Yep.
Since we were on Twitch for a bit and very inconsistent, and when we got partnered on Mixer, we decided to just go full send and stay consistent. And
for the most part, we've done that. I think there have been moments of burnout or, kind of where we work ourselves a little too hard or stay up too late trying to get stuff done and don't have enough sleep. And then it kind of, our content suffers and whatnot. We take an extra day off. But for the most part, we've been very consistent for the last, 2 years?
Almost 2 years
Almost
now.
2 years. And it definitely pays off. When we talk about, how to grow, how to grow your content, how to grow a community. Consistency is 100% key. We've had some small schedule changes. We do 1 day a week on Twitch. We've swapped what day that is. We've missed a few Twitch streams because, if we feel like we need to take an extra day, that's kind of, I would rather take it off Twitch than off Mixer because Twitch is kind of just an extra thing that we're doing. But for the most part, we've been really consistent, which is good.
Well, it's been a big game changer being able to have you go full time, because one, that allows you obviously to be more consistent throughout the day and throughout the week, and kind of makes up for example, like if you stream during the day and I get home and I'm feeling like ass and you're tired too, we could just kind of end stream and take the evening, like smaller burnout breaks. Whereas before we were both like just taking weeks off, and that does not help anything. So.
Well, that was, a long time ago on Twitch. We were doing stuff like that. It's actually funny. We're going to talk a little bit about, where we've been the last little bit and kind of what's going on with gaming and the stuff that we've been playing and doing. And it kind of ties into where we were at in Destiny 1, ironically, because, Trials was a thing that was around in Destiny 1 and we streamed a lot of it. A lot of the time we streamed too much of it. And, kind of when things were good, we just kind of kept pushing, and then we'd get really, really exhausted and burnt out and have to take a break, and that break would just be too much. So we've definitely gotten way better with that, but it's just interesting to kind of look at where we're at now and compare it to where we were, a couple years ago in Destiny 1 on a completely different platform, because there are some similarities.
Mm-hmm. Well, even if you look at what happened with Destiny 2, when Destiny 2 launched, we were like, oh, this is going to be great, it's going to be big, and then it flopped very, very hard, and that kind of forced us to transition to other games, try different things out.
Which honestly is not a bad thing.
No.
We're going to talk a little bit about that today too, because something that I want to do in this podcast is be really open and honest with all of you about, what kind of goes on inside our head and the direction that we want to take our content and kind of what we want out of content creation. Because I feel like sometimes we feel a little limited because we feel like we should be doing certain types of content and we should be playing certain games in order to see growth and make sure that we keep people around. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's right for us. So I just want to be completely open with all of you about it in this podcast. Mm-hmm. About the way that I feel about it.
And not only that, like we're already starting at a very limited point being that there's two of us.
Yep.
As far as like when we stream together, like when you stream solo, it's a lot more open because you can almost play anything.
Well, and you can also swap on a dime, right? So a few, I would say like a few weeks ago, a month ago, in between when we were waiting for trials, and like it was like, oh, like I don't really want to play Destiny. There's not a ton to do in Destiny. I'm kind of over this. Okay, well, we're midstream and neither one of us really knows what we want to play because we both want to play different games. Yeah. So like for us, a lot of our content is planned beforehand, and that helps us both have kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Expectations for the week for what we're going to be doing. Because it's a lot harder to plan that stuff on the fly when there's two of you versus one. Like if I was streaming by myself and I was like, you know what? I don't feel like playing this game anymore. I want to play this. I would just do it. Yeah. I would just switch.
There's a limiting factor put on it when there's two of us because we have to both agree on what we want to play.
Sorry, guys.
And as much as like we're very lucky, we have similar tastes. We also have different tastes with games.
Very much so.
Speaking of that, like, so when Destiny 2 got slow, what did we play? We played some Fortnite, some Apex.
We played Fortnite and Apex. A lot of BR stuff.
It was new at the time. It was like fresh still. I mean, it still is. But.
Part of that was also like when you look at Mixer and growth on Mixer, it's very obvious that there are certain directories where you will have more traffic than others. And I will say that I feel like if you are looking at this as a business and streaming on Mixer, you should have one of those games in your rotation. Doesn't have to be your focus, doesn't have to be the only thing you play, but I do think that it helps a lot for discoverability, growth, etc. If you are playing one of the top 20 games, at least once a week, so that you have a face, you're present in these places where there are actually a good amount of viewers.
And that's not just BRs either. Like there are different games up there 100%. In the top 20 on Mixer. And then even new games that come out, you're going to see some traction there. But then it also depends on where you are as far as your like concurrent views. Like if you're just at 2 or 3, streaming in like the top 20 game directories may not help as much.
Yes.
You kind of need to be somewhere where you're going to be a little bit visible at least.
There is a little bit of method to the madness with that for sure.
Yeah. And it's definitely not a fully solved problem. Like there's different schools of thought. There's 100%. Different ideas on how to do it, and we're at the end of the day we're all still figuring this out. So,
at the beginning of 2020, we made some goals.
Yeah.
And we posted them on social media, and those goals were be more consistent, add more gaming variety to our content, add more non-gaming content. Improve our casting skills or show casting skills, run a league and run more events, and continue to focus on community. And
starting at the top.
Yeah.
Start at the top. So being more consistent, I feel like we have hit that.
Yes.
For the most part.
We talked about that a little bit already.
Yeah. We've been being pretty good with that. More gaming variety. I know 100% you have been filtering in a bunch of variety during the day.
A bunch of games.
Playing a bunch of different stuff.
Which has honestly kept me sane.
Yeah.
I know when you don't have a ton of gaming time, you can dump all of your time into one game. But playing, 40 plus hours of Destiny a week for however long, like, there's just not that much content.
No.
And PvP, when PvP was okay, when I first went full time, I actually spent a lot of time playing a lot of Destiny and just kind of doing Rumble and working on titles and playing sixes, and I'm kind of over that now. So for me, having those daytime streams and being able to play, platformers and story games and different things has really been a savior. It's kept me refreshed and excited to play Destiny when I do get a chance to do it.
Well, and that's where, like, when when you've been playing Destiny all day and then I come home, I haven't.
Yes.
So I'm jazzed up to play, but you've been literally already sank like 6 hours into Destiny. You're kind of over it. So you kind of get both sides with us with I'm trying to balance what games we're playing and how often we're playing them. More non-gaming content.
We've struggled with this.
That kind of hasn't.
But I do feel.
But
I do feel like, the podcast helps. Like, technically, this is non-gaming content.
Yeah.
It's a different medium. We talk about games, we talk about streaming, we talk about different things, but it's not like we're not gaming.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, then I think and I mean, we've noticed this, so like every week we put out a video of last week on BxP, and we go through our past clips and like just like funny moments. And you can tell this is kind of related to something we'll definitely touch on later. You can tell when we're rested because the clips are good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. There have been a few weeks where you can tell we're just drained and like the clips just aren't happening. And non-gaming content can happen while we're gaming as well.
Yes.
Like just like how are we entertaining you guys? Are we bringing some comedic relief? Are we engaging in a manner that's entertaining? And I would count that towards non-gaming content.
That's
because
fair.
it's kind of working on our non-gaming entertaining skills.
There are some things that I would like to do on stream. We did a Lego stream that was kind of interesting. It was kind of fun to do. I would love to get our 3D Destiny models, the guns, and
big
do
shout
that on
out
stream.
to Gym Leader 44 and assistance with X Starstron, sending us some awesome models that years ago were given to us. Literally years ago. We haven't touched them, haven't put them together or painted them or anything, but we should get on that probably.
I know I've mentioned it a few times and people seem excited to like watch something like that.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool to do. It's more just that we need to put the time in to figure out how we need to process it and how we need to go about doing it, and then order what we need. And we just haven't really put the time aside to do that.
Well, we've kind of scoped out different methods to do it, but
I think some stuff like that would be cool. I've thought about recording the podcast live on Mixer, but I don't think it would really be the same environment. We kind of like that this is separate.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We try. I think that's something we're always trying to think of new ideas and improve on there.
The next two kind of come hand in hand, improving our casting skills and run a league and more events. And this year we ran, or last season of Destiny 2, we ran a 3v3 Clash League with 2 divisions and 2 tournaments, one for each division at the end. And what was really cool is I did see our casting skills increase over those events, unless what you have written for improve our casting skills is just streaming skills.
Well, that was improve our casting and shoutcasting skills.
Okay, so it's both. It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, we did run that league, and I think it went really well. Like pretty much everyone that we talked to had a good time.
Well, people have been asking when we're going to run the next one, and I think the honest truth is I'm not ready. That took probably a lot more back end time and energy than most people realized. And I'm really glad that we did it the way we did, and I'm really glad that we were able to shoutcast every week and put together highlights and kind of give that
was
experience.
Pretty much like the max amount though. Like what we did was we had one stream a week that we shoutcasted events that people could play during that time slot, and we would shoutcast them. And I think doing any more than that would have been too much.
It would have been too much, yeah.
So that's probably the maximum amount of time that we can spend towards doing that, and it kind of held us back from doing other stuff too.
Yes.
So,
but it was a really cool opportunity because we did get to meet a lot of people that we hadn't really met or had the opportunity to meet yet, and I know everybody was having fun, and it brought communities together once a week to get excited and cheer for their favorite teams, and the tournaments went fairly well, and that was exciting. So, I mean, we'll definitely do something like that again. I just can't promise that it'll be in the near future, because we have to focus on some other stuff right now that's more personal and kind of work on some content.
And then continue to focus on... Oh, actually, sorry. Going back to those events, I guess we can talk about this here. We are planning on running a quick little tournament soon. Date TBA. Not sure when it's going to be, and I think we're only going to have 8 teams, and it's going to be a 2v2 clash. Only blues or lower for weapons. And I think that's going to be super fun. Every time we've done that in Fight Club Fridays when we were doing that, and in customs, using blue weapons only, or greens or whites, it was a lot of fun. It kind of restricts the sandbox a lot in Destiny 2, where you have exotics that are such outliers, exotics that are cheesy. So this one is going to have no exotic armor, no exotics, no legendaries, and just blues, greens, and whites. And I think that would be super fun.
What's cool about that is... everybody has the same, or should have the same,
they will
weapons in their collection, so everybody is able to pick up literally the same weapons.
So then you can't put mods on them.
No, there's no mods. There's nothing.
On them.
So
like, it's gonna be.
It should be pretty cool. And I hope that can kind of bring a little bit more fun into PvP right now, because I know that Destiny PvP is in a little bit of a rough spot right now with the sandbox and the meta, and a lot of people have been disappointed with trials, and it just would be really nice to give people a reason to come back and have fun in Destiny 2. So we don't have a date for that yet, but that was something that we thought about over the last few days, and we kind of started putting stuff together for that. So I hope that brings some joy and fun back into Destiny for some people.
And we're also going to be having a Destiny aspect to that tournament as well. Top 3 best dress guardians gonna get a little reward as well. So that's pretty exciting. And the last goal that we had was continue to focus on community. I think we've definitely been doing that to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, I think we'll end up talking about this again later. There are lots of things that I would like to do to continue to kind of foster community, and lots of ideas that I have, and it's really just hard to find time to actually do them, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
So yeah, let's get right down to the nitty-gritty of something that we've been wanting to talk about, and be pretty honest about, which is the state of our main game right now, which is Destiny. As you guys know, Trials came out a few weeks ago, I guess a month ago, which is great and all, because we've been wanting Trials for the longest time. It's something we always enjoyed in Destiny 1, but unfortunately there are a few problems with it, and on top of that, it is 4 days out of the week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And those are big days because it's the weekend. We stream a lot during those days. And that kind of makes it so that when the majority of the time that we're streaming together, which our schedule right now is Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That leaves 1 day out of our 5 days of stream that isn't Trials.
Or that isn't expected to be Trials. Because I think there is an expectation, whether people, do it on purpose or not. I think there's an expectation that, on the weekend when Trials is present, that's what we'll be doing. And when we suggest doing something else, or kind of give a choice to chat, so to speak, most people will say continue to do raffles. So I want to, I think it's important that we talk about this, because there are a lot of things that we want to do. There are a lot of games that we want to play. 2020 for us, when we sat down to figure out the direction of our content for this year, one of the biggest things we wanted to do was diversify and improve our ability to be entertaining. And it's kind of hard for us to diversify when 4
Playing
out of
trials
5 days are the
90%
same
of the
thing.
time.
So
Which it's hard because helping people in trials is something we've always enjoyed doing. Seeing people improve alongside us, helping people get to somewhere like the lighthouse or get the loot where normally they wouldn't have like 2 teammates is really good, really fulfilling, and it's really nice to help people. But at the end of the day, it takes a lot of time.
So we were looking at kind of the average time to run one trials card with one person. And from the time that you would, win a raffle or join the fire team, get your card, load into Destiny, etc. Maybe we lose the first game or the second game and we reset, and then, maybe we get flawless.
Maybe we just go for 7
and we
wins.
just go for 7 and we lose a few and we end up at 7, but we've lost a couple
We're looking
games.
at 2 hours.
It's about 2 hours a card. So for an 8 to 10 hour stream on Saturday, which is fairly normal, we're lucky if we help 5 or 6 people. Now that's not a lot of people considering how many are waiting for Patreon runs to be done, or how many people are in chat that are looking for a raffle. And that kind of puts more pressure on us to try to do this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to try to help more people. But I don't really think moving forward it's something that is going to be
sustainable or good for our growth, really.
Yeah.
As far as content creators.
I think it's very important for us to be able to explore some of these other avenues. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we've been trying to add in a Thursday evening stream. And the reason that we've been doing that is because we're trying to figure out when to play these other games. I don't know when else to stream Soma or to finish up Darksiders or to do these things because of our schedule right now.
Yeah. And then there's the question of what are our options, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to still help people in trials. I don't think I don't want to have to give up doing free raffles. Because I think that's a nice aspect to actually have an opportunity for people that either can't afford a Patreon sub or what have you to be able to get some help. But at the same time, how do we prioritize, right? We can't sit there and be like, okay, these 10 people want help. Let's just pick 5. Because that's not fair to anyone. So to try to keep it fair, that's partially where Patreon subs come in, because we can prioritize on people willing to invest more. But then at the same token, we don't want it to be a fully paid service. I mean, if you really want that, you can get your $400 full trials gear from friggin' trialssherpa.com or whatever.
Well, and we've never we've never looked at it that way, right? So the reality is Patreon is there and there are perks, whatever, but for us, we want you guys to subscribe to Patreon at whatever tier you want, if that's something you want to do, because you want to invest in us over the extra stuff that you get. That's kind of for us, that's a, hey, thank you guys for doing this. Here's some bonus stuff that you get.
Thinking about it in a sense of order of operations is very important. We are not offering perks for money. We are offering a way to support us, and then seeing that you're willing to support us by that set amount, we want to offer bonuses for that because we want to reward you.
Yeah.
But going forwards, how do we, the big question that we're trying to figure out is how do we optimize our time, basically, to help as many people as possible, but still allow us time to grow as content creators and do other things and diversify. So.
Well, I think I also want to say that we have always looked at time as one of the most valuable resources that you guys can give us. So taking the time to, pop in a stream and say hi, taking any amount of time out of your day, opening a tab, hanging out when you can, taking the time to, check out a YouTube video or stop
That's
into
the lifeblood
Discord
of our stream.
and say hi. Like, all of that is the lifeblood of our stream, as Peach has said, and also our community. You guys investing time in us and our community is what allows us to continue to do the things that we do, and it really drives us to continue to make content. So I don't want anybody to think that we don't value the people that are hanging out in stream, whether or not you are able to financially support us through whatever means, because that is not the case at all. You are all important. I just want to say that, because I know, like, I just don't want people to look at it as, oh, well, they're only trying to help people who pay them. Like, it's not like that at all. We are trying to find a solution.
That's why I mentioned the whole order of operations things, because what happens first is, like Babe said, the time invested is important. So the first things first is we want to give you guys our time, and you guys giving us your time is reciprocal of that. So that's our 50-50 relationship right there off the start, right? We're here to try to entertain you, give you a good time, give you a place to hang out, foster a community with our time, and kind of bring everyone together. And then you showing up to that and being a part of the community, being a positive force in the community, engaging with other people, engaging with us, that's the time exchange. That's first. And then coming after that is to allow us to have more time to give you. Babe is doing this full time, so that's dependent on your guys' support. So then after that is we want to reward you for the support, right? So that's where the Patreon subs come in, and for going above and beyond, we want to give you some perks for that. But we also, like Babe said, we still want to help you guys for free as well, through free raffles, which the reason why we do raffles is because, except for extenuating circumstances, we want it to be a fair field, a fair play, no favorites. Like, we're not just taking down a list and being like, hey, we like this person better, let's help them more. So we want it to be fair for everyone, and that's kind of how that goes.
So I think the problem here is that there are a lot of people looking for help, and there's just not enough time, especially considering the state of trials right now, which is a whole other problem. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, this weekend. So this weekend was Exodus Blue, and we actually have been having a pretty good time, and we have gotten a few flawlesses. But the reality is that it's a lot harder than it used to be, and it's there's a lot of reasons for that, and we've talked about that a lot in stream. But for those reasons as well, it's taking longer to kind of get through these runs and stuff too. Mm-hmm. So, if we are only able to help, let's say 6 to 10 people over 4 days.
Yeah.
Right. So 10 people a weekend, 40 people a month estimated, which that's probably on the high end, to be honest.
At the end of the day, like, we're not good enough to just carry everyone in 5-0 every team that we face, no matter what our teammate. Like, we need you guys to help us. We need to play together. We need to improve alongside with you and have you improve alongside us.
Yes.
And I think that's also why we've been saying, like, play with each other. Like, find each other in stream, find each other in Discord, and form fire teams and play together. We want to see you guys improve as much as we want to help you, and maybe one day, like, you guys can get together and help each other go to Lighthouse or help someone else.
Well, we've seen some of that,
and we've seen it happen, and that's one of the coolest things. And guess what? That's going to be the easiest way for us to help you guys, is provide you an environment where you can improve and you can help each other. Because then, if we don't have to help you, or if we can't help you, or don't have time to, maybe other people in our community can.
I think at the end of the day, it's just important to talk about this, and I hope that a majority of the people who have been kind of around over the last little while, kind of hoping to play trials and everything, have a chance to listen to this, because it's something we've talked about off and on in Discord, on Twitter, in stream, in little tidbits, but we haven't been able to really have a full-on discussion about it. So I don't know. I don't entirely know how we're gonna deal with it yet.
No, I think we're gonna have to take it piece by piece and kind of try and I don't know, kind of figure it out as we go. We don't really have a solid plan in place, or else we would have that figured out and would be implementing that. But so far we're doing what we can, and kind of continuing on as we are, but also trying to look forward to improve what we're doing the best we can. And that kind of leads us into something else we wanted to talk about as far as going forwards, because this will definitely change things as far as the different games that we'll be able to play, and some games that are coming out later this year, and that is us looking to build another PC.
So something that people have been asking us about for like literally years.
Years and years.
And sometimes we get a little frustrated because people don't seem to understand that it's like, well, why don't you just play PC games? Like, there's two of us. You know, there isn't just one. We have a stream PC, yes, but both of us can't play games on one PC. That's not really the way it works most of the time. And PCs are expensive. Mm-hmm. It's also much cheaper for us to game share on Xbox.
Yep.
And the setup's much simpler and easier on our PC. So for us to console game, it just makes a lot more sense. But as we kind of get to this crossroads where, you know, Destiny's not going to be around forever, and we want to make sure that our content doesn't suffer and our community and stream doesn't suffer when we have to kind of transition to some other things. I think it's important that we're able to play some games on PC.
And plus, there's a lot of games coming out on PC and that are 100%. Out on PC that we want to play. We just don't have the facilities to do that. Like, for example, our stream PC right now has a GTX 960 in it, and it's okay. It can run some games, but like Babe said, we still need another PC on top of that, and this 960 definitely won't run some of the like more intensive games on it. So we're getting there. We've got our eyes on some things. We're kind of working some things out, budgeting some money, and I think that's the other thing that I feel like some people just don't understand. And that kind of gets us a little frustrated sometimes when they tell us just to play on PC. Like, we have to buy another PC. Like, maybe everyone else has like thousands of dollars in expendable income, but we don't. So, like,
yeah, I feel like most people, and some people do have multiple gaming PCs, but most average people probably don't have, 2 to 3 gaming / streaming PCs just chilling. Yeah. So, like that's just been something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, but it just hasn't really been the right time to do it. We're saving for a house. We're trying to save for our future, and that stuff has seemed far more important. So that money's been being put aside. But now, that we are kind of, I guess, doing a little bit better with your support on Patreon and these different things, we're kind of able to save a little bit and look towards building another gaming PC. So there are lots of games coming out. Valorant looks awesome. Genshin Impact and Blue Protocol both look amazing as well. I'm super stoked for Blue Protocol. I'm super stoked, yeah. And
I really hope it's good.
I think it's just, like, we love Destiny. I also want to mention that we have absolutely no plans of playing Destiny on PC, because a lot of people have been asking us that. And I know that Destiny is a beautiful game on PC. I totally get that. Without anti-cheat, I don't really think we want to play PvP on PC.
And that's our jam. That's the thing, is like we're not very heavy PvE players. Lately we have been doing more raids than usual.
Yes.
They've been fun. But for the most part, we're not really all that into the PvE side. We really love PvP, and if we're gonna continuously play PvP, doing that on PC just does not sound appealing at all, to be honest. Unless things drastically change.
Yeah, just with the way the state it is right now, and that's not to say that we wouldn't love to play with all our PC friends and stuff. I know that they've really been wanting us to kind of make the jump for a long time, but I just don't think that it makes sense for us to spend money on 2 more copies of Destiny to have that sort of experience. So we will be looking towards other types of games on PC, but this kind of all ties back into the trials problem and our content diversity. Where does that fit in with what we're doing right now? So I think we need to kind of figure out a little bit of a better balance. There's lots of games that we actually have downloaded and are looking forward to play, but I don't really know when we're going to get the opportunity to do it.
Well, then before we move on, I just wanted to mention as well, like, Destiny is not a never-ending thing. This is not an indefinitely successful game that we can just hinge everything on.
Yes.
So we definitely want to move, not necessarily just move away from it and drop it completely, but we want to be getting into other things and just getting more of a feel of how that works with our content.
Well, I also think it's very important to push yourself out of your comfort zone. The more and more I stream different types of games, the better I feel I am at streaming those games and creating that type of content. And that's something we haven't had a huge opportunity to do together, because if you look at the games that we've played together, it's been, like heavily, it's been Fortnite, Apex, Destiny.
Yeah, PvP games.
PvP games mostly. Because for the most part, those are the easiest multiplayer and or co-op games to find. It's very difficult to find. On Borderlands, also a shooter.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to find co-op, story, platformer, puzzle games, like kind of the different stuff that I've been playing during the day. Those games don't necessarily really exist on console in a co-op or multiplayer mode. So
and most markedly the any story-driven immersive game is 99.99% of the time going to be single player. It is not like there have been a handful of small like co-op story games, like A Way Out was really good.
Yep.
Absolutely love that. Unravel 2 was fantastic.
Yep.
But those are very few and far between. That's not something that has been really developed that much.
I think overall we've been very lucky that we both really enjoy Destiny, and it's something that we both wanted to put some time in to get better, and we have very similar outlooks on the things we like to do in Destiny and the way we like to approach that content. But, the reality is, like we were just saying, it's not going to be around forever, and I think one of the reasons it's really important to have this discussion is Destiny has kind of been the lifeblood of our community for a very long time. And that's not to say everybody comes from Destiny or Destiny is the only thing we stream, but it has been a core part of our stream for a very long time. Pretty much since we started streaming.
Yeah.
So, this isn't to say that it's going away completely, but I do think it's good for us to start to try to feel out some other options together. We've been doing that, during the day with solo and single player games, but I think it's important for us to kind of do that together as well. So I just want everybody to understand we don't hate Destiny. It's not that we don't, we want to screw people over who have invested time in the stream, but I hope that you guys will continue to support us as we try new things and try to be better at that type of content and different types of content, and that we can entertain you with more than just the game. Because at the end of the day, if we can't do that, we are fucked. So.
Yeah, basically. And kind of touching back on the single player thing, like the only real path that I can see for us to delve more into as a duo into more single player stuff is if we were both to be full time, we could swap back and forth. I could have a day where I play through a single player, whatever, and you could have a day whatever. But apart from that, like with me working, the only time that I get to stream is it doesn't make any sense for just me to stream and not you. So
well, and we before this whole COVID-19 pandemic, I was actually one day a week I was going to the city and visiting my grandparents, and I was helping them out with some stuff and doing some work there, whatever. And we actually talked about that was a Thursday every week.
We were about to pull the trigger on that and have Thursdays be my solo stream.
Yes, we were.
And give me a chance, and we were going to do that, and then like I managed to do it like once or twice, and then all of a sudden, COVID.
So we were already kind of implementing that because, you know, I've been very lucky to be able to play some different things and try some different games, but I thought it would be really good for Pete to have that opportunity and kind of learn to grow his casting skills by himself because he doesn't really have that opportunity. So
the only I did do that a lot when I was looking for work and I was playing a lot of Fortnite, but that was different, and there's more skills to grow now, and there's always room for improvement. There's always a path to go up. So
I think you know, we have lots, like I keep saying, we have lots of things we want to try. We have lots of games we want to play. We have lots of things we're looking forward to. It's kind of just transitioning into that. Something else that, you know, we started off this year with was one day a week. We were doing community games. And we did a few weeks of that and it was super fun. And then we realized that we didn't really have time for it. And this is a whole other thing because we stream approximately on average 35 to 45 hours a week, depending on how long the streams are and kind of what's going on, if we take an extra day, whatever. And we're also making 3 YouTube videos a week, and bi-weekly we run this podcast. So between all of that, I mean, we don't and then we have, you know, the trials problem and different things. Like, we just don't have time. Like, I don't know where do we put in a community day? Where do we put in movie nights? Where do we put in games that aren't Destiny? Trying to fit all of the stuff that we want to do into the time that we have is really difficult. And we can't really, it might seem, oh, well, just stream more, you know, stream on Tuesdays, stream on Thursdays, just stream every day. But the reality is, like, there's a lot of back-end stuff that goes on.
And that's how we burn ourselves out.
Yeah.
That's how you see us go from taking a 1-day break to 2-day breaks to week-long breaks to quitting streaming. So that's very that's a very hyperbole, but you know what I mean. That's the way we've kept ourselves consistent is by not exceeding our limits.
So it's just really hard to find time because there are so many things that we want to do. We want to help you guys. We want to run raids. We want to do games that aren't Destiny. You know, we want to do community nights. We want to do movie nights that are outside of stream. We want to make these YouTube videos. We want to do the podcast. You know, we have had very little time to really do anything that's not content related, even when we're not streaming.
Yeah, well, that's why you see us like every damn stream. Hey, we're tired, because we get up, like say on the weekend, we get up, we do like some random stuff around the house, maybe like take the dog out, whatever, do some back end stream stuff, then we stream, and then when we get off stream, that's our only time to really spend with each other and like watch Netflix or like talk.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, we talk to each other on stream, but, like, it's not the same, you know what I mean? We can't, like, as Darth would say, talk mess about our awesome viewers.
So it's been tough. It's also, the whole balance thing is really hard because I like what we're doing. You know, I love the fact that we're putting 3 videos out a week on YouTube. I like, you know, I don't really want to reduce our streaming hours. I think, you know, 35 to 45 hours a week is something that's sustainable and good.
Well, for example, take today. Like, it's 3:47 currently. We started recording this about 45 minutes ago, about 3 o'clock. And before this, like, I did some paperwork for work, and we cleaned up around the house, and Bonsai went out, and we had breakfast, and Babe did some stuff for YouTube and for stream. I set up the sign-up thing for the tournament that's coming up, and it's damn near 4 o'clock.
We haven't stopped since we woke up.
We haven't stopped since we woke up, and we had a raid scheduled today that I think we're gonna try to reschedule because I don't think that'll really fit in. And we have a Patreon run scheduled, and we're supposed to be doing raffles, and it's goddamn 4 o'clock, man. Like, fuck.
Well, and we're supposed to start our Twitch stream at 4 in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's we're definitely running ourselves thin, which is why we keep saying we're so tired. And I know that we probably should try to change something up and balance differently, but I don't know where to pull time from, and I don't know where to fit more things in, and I don't know how to do all the things that we want to do. And it's kind of frustrating because, I mean, I don't know, like, I just have so many good ideas and so many things that I know would be good for people, especially right now. But it's just so hard to find the time to fit it all in. And I don't want to cut back on YouTube, and I don't want to cut back on the podcast. You know, we're already bi-weekly instead of weekly. And I don't want to cut back on stream time because I feel like, you know, 35 hours is respectable. So it's just tough. There's a lot of back-end stuff that I feel like a lot of people don't really realize goes on. And that's fine. You guys don't see it, right?
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we don't even really have much quote unquote off time.
Oh, none.
Like, we don't have off time. Our off time is cuts into sleep.
Yep.
Like, if we watch something, or like hang out or whatever, like, that cuts into sleep. That's after stream, after everything's done, and sleep goes down from 7 hours to 4 hours to...
Well, and then, you know, we feel bad that, like, if we, for example, say we end up deciding that we would rather take today to, I don't know, get our confidence card done, for example, which, if you guys don't know what that is, we're basically trying to get a title in Destiny. We should have done it first week, but instead we decided to, you know, help a bunch of different people because that's the way we are. And we didn't focus on ourselves, and now we're paying for it. So we're trying to get this done so we can get this title in Destiny, whatever. It's not a huge deal, but, you know, say we want to do that and maybe get 1 or 2 offline Patreon runs done so we can cut down on that list a little bit. That's outstanding.
That's already 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
That you literally just outlaid. Like 2 to 3 Patreon runs and a confidence card. Say we get the confidence card done in one go, which hasn't happened yet. That's 6 to 8 hours of time. So say we say, okay, we're not going to stream today. It's our Twitch day. We've missed the last 2 weeks on Twitch, I think. I don't even know because we keep taking Sunday to catch up on stuff. By the time we get that done, that's midnight. It's 4 o'clock, right? It's almost 4 o'clock, so that'd be midnight.
But what I'm getting at is then I feel bad.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm trying to take time to get stuff done, to get ahead, to get caught up so we can feel rested, so that we can feel good about where we're headed into for next week, right? But then I feel bad that we've missed this stream we were supposed to show up for, because then it feels like we're letting you guys down, because we're not showing up when we're supposed to. And especially right now, with, you know, people being quarantined and having a rough time and all of that, it's a lot. I feel like it's even more pressure to be on, to be available, to be there when we're supposed to be on time, because I don't want to let you guys down. I know that right now, stream and the stream community and everything can be the one thing that's kind of helping people each day.
So regardless, I think we're gonna stream. I think that's the plan. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff for us to consider and kind of going forward to try and tweak and improve week to week. And I think Bay was saying this when we were deciding what to do for this podcast. It's something we needed to kind of discuss and air out as well, and kind of talk about even between ourselves, because we haven't really had much time for that. So I think the future is still bright. There's still a lot of room for us to grow. There's still great directions for us to go. We just kind of have to keep mindful of certain things and keep tweaking. I think if we just have this in the back of our head always when we're trying to figure out what we're doing, how we're doing it, to try and make it better from week to week.
Yep.
That's the only idea I have so far. So
I hope that this has been a little bit of an eye-opening experience for some of you that may not kind of understand what goes on either behind the scenes or in our heads, or why we make the decisions that we make. Because I think, I don't know how many of you guys have been reading the Patreon weekly tips, but there have been some pretty good ones, and the one that comes out this upcoming week on Thursday is about communication.
Yeah.
And we talk about how important it is to communicate in all aspects of life, but even in content creation, how important it is to be open with your community about what's going on and kind of your direction and whatnot. Because if you guys understand kind of where we're coming from, maybe you'll feel a little bit better about it, or instead of thinking, oh, like, why are they doing that, you'll be like, oh, I get it. So
yeah,
yeah. Like, why aren't they playing Destiny more? Why don't they want to help us? Oh, they took my money. Like, like, it's not like that. It's there's just a lot going on, and we want to just be the best that we can for you guys, and sometimes that means sacrificing some other aspects of things.
Yep. Well, that's we pretty much touched on everything.
I think that's pretty much it. I know we repeated ourselves a lot and talked about balance, and we talked about the trials problem a ton, and different things. But that's definitely the biggest thing on my mind right now is, how do I fit in the content that we actually want to do around what's already going on and what the expectations are. At the end of the day, it is our decision what we do, but I also know that every decision that we make can have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and at the end of the day, we really just need to do at least what we feel is best for us and what works the best for us. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges that a lot of content creators have, is kind of finding their own path and remembering that their own path is their own path. You don't need to model yourself after someone else. You don't need to follow in someone else's footsteps. You don't need to, take the same ideologies and ideas that other people have and incorporate them so deeply in your own content. And seeing the success of others or the failings of others can definitely affect how you view your own successes and failures. And I think one of the biggest struggles is just trying to stay honest with yourself and knowing that your path is your own. Not everyone is going to have the same journey. It's not going to work. This industry is so different from any others because it's so community driven. The community will guide you, and the community is your success. The success of the community is your success. So, yeah. There's my little mini rant about whatever that was. I don't know where I was going with that, but
no, it's good. It's good. I think what you said. It was important to say.
Yeah.
Everybody out there right now that's listening, that might be struggling. I just want to say that all we can do is our best. All you can do is your best. Keep your head up, and things will get better. We're all kind of going through the same things right now, and just make sure to communicate with the people around you, because even something as simple as being active in Discord and talking to people can help a lot. Mm-hmm. And keep you going through everything that's happening. So you guys ever need to reach out, you know, our DMs and Discord and stuff is always open.
Another thing on that note that I want you guys to understand is that remember that it's not just the people that are engaging with you that are reading what you're saying or listening to what you're saying. There are other people watching and listening. Maybe they're not acknowledging that they have. Like small example is sometimes we'll be streaming, doing our thing, whatever, and someone pipes up in chat that's like level 35 and they barely have said anything before, and we had no idea they were watching, but they're there. You know what I mean? So even the things that you write in Discord, the way you communicate with other people, that can influence people that you have no idea even saw what you said. So we're all in this together. We're all helping each other out. And if there's anything that comes out of the recent experience with this whole COVID-19 thing, I hope that it's a renewed sense of community. And literally we're all in this together. We're all stuck on this stupid rock flying through space. So can't really fuck it up. I mean, we can, but hopefully we don't.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking this episode out. I feel like this was a really important one. And if you only listen to one BxPerience episode, I hope it's this one.
Hopefully. We love you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe. And we will hopefully be live here soon.
All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
If you want more of us, you can find everything BXP at BxPete.com, including links to all of our socials, YouTube, merch, and our discount codes for Into the AM clothing and Advanced GG energy drinks.
Our main focus is our live stream at mixer.com/BabexPete, where we live stream video games and foster an amazing community. Peace.